Good morning, City. Mafia is a role-playing game. At the beginning of each game, every player receives a role and plays that role until the very end. In essence, the card deal determines what each player is expected to do throughout the game. And how well a player performs their role will ultimately determine the outcome. In this video, we'll take a look at the different roles in Sports Mafia and how the gameplay changes depending on which role you receive. The game is played by 10 players, 6 citizens, 1 sheriff, 2 mafia members, and 1 Don. By now, you probably already understand that the citizens and the sheriff work together to find the mafia. Meanwhile, the Don leads the mafia team to victory. In more than half of your games, you'll be playing as either a citizen or the sheriff. Most beginners don't enjoy playing as mafia because they consider it the more difficult role. Many people simply don't like lying, and at first, they usually aren't very good at it. However, once players begin participating in tournaments, they realize one important thing. Without winning games on the mafia side, achieving strong tournament results is extremely difficult. No matter what role you receive, each one is interesting in its own way, and every player should be prepared to play any of them. Now let's take a closer look at the gameplay for each role. Let's begin with the citizen. A citizen has several primary objectives. First, they must convince the other players that they are on the citizens' team. This can be accomplished in 2 ways: through strong speeches and through solid in-game actions. For example, if a player consistently votes together with the citizens against the mafia, they're more likely to be perceived as a member of the citizens' team. The citizens' second objective is to identify the mafia. For the citizens to win, they must eliminate every mafia player from the game. There are many different ways to find the mafia. Some players first identify who they believe are citizens, then determine who must be mafia by process of elimination. Others rely on psychological techniques. They observe behavior, look for signs of nervousness, and try to detect deception. Some compare how the same player behaves in different roles, searching for noticeable differences. Sooner or later, every player develops their own unique play style. The game is designed in such a way that winning as a citizen is the most difficult challenge. That's why playing this role requires maximum concentration. Now let's talk about the sheriff. When playing as the sheriff, you have 2 major objectives. The first is to find the mafia by checking players during the night. The second is to convince the citizens that you are the real sheriff in that game. And as a rule, the second objective is much more difficult. That's because the mafia will often try to mislead the town by pretending to be the sheriff. The mafia also has 2 primary objectives. The first is to shoot citizens during the night. The second is to persuade the citizens to vote against one another during the day. There are countless ways to accomplish this. It all depends on your creativity, logic, and ability to play the game. In addition to these responsibilities, the Don coordinates the mafia team. The Don decides who will be targeted during the night kills. Of course, each role deserves a separate video explaining its strategy in greater detail. But for your first few games, understanding these basic principles is more than enough. That's all you need to start enjoying the game while steadily improving. And finally, it's impossible to become a strong citizen if you don't understand how the mafia thinks and plays. A Don will never successfully pretend to be the sheriff without first understanding how to play the real sheriff correctly. The mafia will never stay hidden if they cannot convincingly imitate the behavior of the citizens. All of the roles in Mafia are closely connected, and to become a successful player, you need to gradually master every one of them.